Hello everyone, today we're going to go over our new product line, the RS PURE Bundle from Revosim. Revosim is a new brand launched under NACON, which is our introduction into the sim racing ecosystem. Of course, on our left, we have the RS PURE wheel and wheel base. And on our right, we have the RS PURE 100 kilogram, by the way, load cell pedal, which of course we're going to go into our install guide today. You can find both videos linked in the description below. We have, of course, the install guide for the wheel and base, and install guide for the pedals. And if you did actually end up pre-ordering the Sim RS bundle, you can actually get these gloves, but don't be too worried if you haven't gotten this already. I should note that we will be giving it away on our social media channels in the near future. Also included are these bolts and Allen keys that you will need to install your products, whether on the desk clamp, on your floor, or of course on your associated sim rig or stand. Everything here is included, as you can see. And without further ado, let's get straight on into the install video. In today's video, we're going to go over installing the pedals. Now let's get into the installation of the RS PURE pedals. Of course, we have the 100 kilogram load cell brake pedal here on our right, which is quite good. Of course, you have the accelerator here on our left. With that being said, we also have a clutch pedal coming out in the near future. More details on that will be coming soon. However, the installation process will be quite the same, so follow along and let's get started. What will come in the box for the pedals? You can see here we have the necessary screws we need to attach the pedals to this pedal base if you're using a floor, or of course your pedals to an actual sim rig with these two long screws here on your left. You have the Allen keys, washers, nuts and bolts all ready to go for you. You have this base, which we use to connect our pedals together. And of course, these two holes you see here would be used to connect to your actual sim rig. So we're gonna start off this video doing a floor installation for those of you who are just using the desk clamp on your sim wheel and putting these pedals on the floor. Then we're going to go over how to install this on your sim rig because the process is a little bit different. Still easy, just a little bit different. So let's get started with the floor installation. As you can see here, there are two plugs with a third one here. Quite simple. All we're going to do is plug it in like so. You'll hear a click, and that's how you know it's connected. And we're good to go. Next thing you want to do is now grab this plate, and we're going to put it on top of here. I'll move these out the way for you as well, which again, we will be giving these out on our social medias in the near future, so stay tuned. The first thing to describe is you can see that each one takes up roughly 3 holes wide. So that being said, depending on how you want to play with your accelerator and your brake, you can adjust the distance between the two by sliding this across and choosing the different hole locations for the actual plates. For the example of this video, I'm going to separate these a little bit far apart like so. So our brake pedal is all the way on this side and our accelerator is all the way on this side. Again, if you do decide to pick up the clutch at a later date, you would obviously move this over so you have room to install the clutch. So all you have to do is line up the holes, as you can see here, 1, 2, and we line this up on this side as well. Here you can see the holes align, 1, 2, 3, 4, and all we need to do is grab these screws and put it into all 4 spots. We'll tighten this down as well. There we go. And to go over the actual adjustment of the brake pedal very quickly, I'll show you exactly how that works. We'll slide this out a bit here. All you have to do is grab your 2 Allen keys that you have. First we'll show you how to adjust the range. All you have to do is put one Allen key on one side, other Allen key on the other side, like so. We'll speed this up. You have this screw just there, and this piece slides out. And now you can tilt this forward. So once you unscrew this piece here, you can tilt this forward. If you grab your 2 Allen keys and unscrew these 2 pieces with the wrench, you can actually remove this piece to change your elastomers. You can do it in 3 chambers as well. But I'm gonna put this back down. We will slot this back inside. Again, you can change the adjustment of your angle, but we'll leave it here so it matches the brake pedal. Next, we can line it up here. See, 4 holes lining up there. Again, you can decide to move it in this location, one location over. It's all up to you depending on your personalization. However, for the purpose of this video, we're going to install it here. Again, we'll grab the 4 screws, which you guys can see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you have these all tightened. We're ready to go. The other thing that I should mention is in the box, we have different elastometers, so you can have ultimate control over your 100 kilogram load cell brake pedal. And when you include that with the software, it's totally customizable. Now, let's go into more detail on how to install this on your actual sim rig, because the process is a little bit different. Let's get started. So now that I explained to you how to install it on the floor, let's get into installing it on an actual sim rig. So right here, we have an actual brake pedal base that we use from our sim rig. I'm going to explain to you how to install it. So I'll set this aside for now. The first thing you want to do is you're going to install the actual pedals onto the base first. Essentially, you can see 2 holes at the bottom of each pedal set that we sell. This one is quite easy because you can get to it from the top through there. The brake pedal is a little bit different, but we'll get to that in a second. So right here, we have our brake pedal base. This direction is going towards the seats. So our actual pedals will face this way. So the first thing you want to do is find the screw here. And because it's adjustable to all different types of sim rigs, you might need to adapt a bit, but nonetheless, we'll install it here, like so. And what we need is one of these, a washer, and a nut, like so. And we also need our Allen key. So first things first, we're going to grab our screw and put it in the bottom hole. Then on our actual pedal base, we're going to be using this slot for our accelerator pedal. So all we're going to do now is align this, drop it in like so. And on the other side, we're going to be screwing in our washer first and then the nut. So from the bottom, let's reach and we will do this. Like so. This is now attached. I don't want to screw it all the way down yet, but I'm going to leave it like that for now. Next, the brake pedal. The brake pedal is going to be a little bit different. As you can see, there's a screw here on both the accelerator pedal and on the brake pedal, and of course the clutch when it comes out. You can adjust how far the travel of the actual pedal will be. Also, you have this screw here, which can adjust your actual angle of the pedal. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to need 2 of the Allen keys. So I'll grab that. We have our 2 Allen keys here. One goes on one side, the other goes on the other side. And you're simply going to unscrew this. As you can see, on that side and on this side, we'll unscrew it. Now you have this small screw, don't lose it, and you have this pin. So these 2 pieces I'll put aside for now. And as you can see, what will end up happening is you now have full tilt over this. So you can choose whether you want to have your pedal come here, further down. You'll have a large selection of holes you can use. But the purpose of doing it is because when you tilt this forward, you now have access to the screws here to mount to your base. So again, I'm going to mount it here. We get our second screw. We need a washer and we need a nut, like so. We will put this in the hole here, like so. And from the bottom, we put the washer first and then the nut and we screw it down. So once you have that done, I'm going to tilt this back the other way, and we're now going to plug this cable in. If you have the clutch, now would be a good time to plug it in as well. Okay, so we've now plugged that in. Next, we're going to get our Revosim base, as you can see here. We'll put it down. And we're going to use this to align the two pedals on their sides. This is where you use the small screws again, just like we did in the floor installation, all 4 screws, and we'll get that done now. So I have all 4 screwed in. So next thing you want to do is grab the 2 long screws, as you can see here, and these are going to go both in these 2 holes to connect to our base. Now these 2 screws are the most important ones. If you find that you cannot screw the ones at the back, it is recommended at least 2 screws. The front screws can connect to your base, and the back ones are optional. Of course, for more sturdy support, you want to do all 4. But if you find that your wheelbase cannot connect and only the 2 front screws can, you're still good to go to use our Revosim product. So continue on. These 2 screws drop in here, like so. And then very similar to the other screws at the back, 1 washer, 1 nut, and we screw in from the other side. I'll take a look at the back after so you have a visualization of what it looks like when you connect it all together. So once you have that done, all that's left is to tighten everything up. So I'll start with the 2 front screws. Because it's self-locking, you don't need to actually have a nut. Because it is self-locking, you don't actually need a wrench on the other side to hold it. You can just go ahead, give it some tightening, and you're good to go. Lastly, we're going to tighten the screws at the back. So you can tilt this up. We can put the Allen key in. We'll tighten this up really quick. There we go. Once you tighten that side, remember these 2 parts that we unscrewed. You're going to now choose your height of your pedal. We're going to leave it probably at the lowest point here to match the accelerator. We'll put the pin in, attach the screw as well. And there you go. Your RS Pure pedals are now attached to your brake pedal base. Now this just goes back on your sim rig and you're good to go. And of course, to finish this off, the next thing we're going to show you is how to install this to your computer and get this software ready to go. Let's go. So right here, we already have the pedals mounted to the base, as you can see. In the previous video, I showed you how to mount it to the floor. If you are using just the floor, you only need the pedals and the Revosim base here. But again, we're going to attach this to an actual pedal base for our sim rig. So last but not least, we're going to head over here. I'll set it aside. And we just have 4 screws that we need to attach here. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Each mount here. It gives you a lot of customization. So I'll undo these screws and we'll go ahead and install this very easily. And just to make my life easier, right here is the cable for the actual pedals to connect to our sim rig. Now you have 2 choices. You can either run it behind here and attach it, or if you take off this plate, or maybe you can reach behind, you can connect it through here. There's a little gap right here that you can go through. And this is going to plug in very easily. You'll hear a click. And there we go. We've now plugged in the pedals to the plug, which run all the way to the top to the base here. So once you have the pedals all fully installed and you have your wheelbase that you also purchased, it's time to connect the wheel base to the pedals. In your supplied pedal box, you're going to get this cable here, as you can see. Quite simple. We're going to plug one end into the actual wheelbase where it says pedals. So I'll plug that in here, like so. Clicked in. The other side, what you're going to do is, if you flip this over, you can see right here on the right side we have the inlet for this cable, like so. Connect it. Now your pedals are good to go. We'll take a look here. You can see the pedals now show up on the actual program. Similarly, you can adjust it to whatever profile you'd like. We'll go to the WRC profile here, the F1 profile, TDSC. With that, you can see if we press on the throttle, you can see it showing up on the program on how much input you're giving. That said, you can calibrate, you can also change the curve, you can adjust the dead zone as well for both pedals. Then you can import your profile, export your profile just like you could with the wheel, and get the most out of your Revosim RS Pure Bundle products. That being said, very easy to go through that. We'll go into more detail in a dedicated software video, which we'll leave in the description below for more information. Other than that, I'm Alex, and I hope you guys enjoyed this installation and software quick guide for the Revosim RS Pure Bundle pedals. I'll see you in another video.